Martha Sear, Professor of Mechanical Engineering and the Director of K-12 Outreach at WPI. I'm here at NIPRO in Clinton, Massachusetts to talk about Mass-TEC, an innovative project being led by Quinsigamond Community College, which focuses on providing the public with a new understanding about today's manufacturing. What do you think of when you think of manufacturing? Do you picture dirty workplaces, smokestacks, heavy labor? That's not what today's manufacturing is like in central Massachusetts. And with the help of some guests today, we're going to learn more about how exciting this career can be. When most people think about manufacturing jobs, they characterize them as being dirty, sweaty jobs, a type of job that might not be good for a woman to have. Ted, based on your experience, can you describe what a typical job or a common job in manufacturing is like?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to talk to that. To continue on the theme that manufacturing is not your father's manufacturing any longer, I'd like to describe not only the manufacturing jobs in physical terms, but also in the work life of an individual engaged in manufacturing. And manufacturing today has moved from being a physically demanding, intensive, repetitive, task-oriented type of business to a process management mode. In other words, it relies on more knowledge-based as opposed to brawn-based type of skills within the work environment. What I mean by this is, in general terms, a typical manufacturing job is an environment that requires an individual to look at a process and input themselves into the process. It's a thinking environment, it's a challenging environment, and the activity that people engage in are primarily inputting instructions into a process, monitoring the output of a process, and again, in a more of a management mode than a mode where you are taking and making things with your hands, a lot of heavy work. It engages your mental skills more than your back. And I like to view it in that term.
So manufacturing isn't what it used to be. Navjeet, based on your research, is it true that science, math, and engineering and a good technical background are what's required for the new manufacturing jobs?
Absolutely, and some of that has always been true. Traditionally, you had scientists working in the lab, let's say coming up with new materials, and engineers who worked on their offices on drawing boards, designing products, designing processes, and the shop floor workers worked on the production floor. They just, as Ted was describing, they just made products. Today, especially in Massachusetts, we have a lot more. One is we have a lot more engineers and scientists. And they not only kind of work in isolation, they're increasingly working on cross-functional teams with each other and with shop floor workers. They're working with customers, suppliers, all kinds of folks. They are also designing products. They are using software to design products. They're using all kinds of control systems and electronics and software in how components relate with each other. And also, I think the significant change has been also with production workers. Traditionally, we thought of production workers as a pair of hands, or as Ted was describing, as providing kind of physical labor. Increasingly, even for shop floor workers, one is there's a lot fewer of them. What is required is knowledge of math and science. And it's both a brain and a head job and not just a pair of hands. And I think that's where there's a lot of change, because part of it is that a lot of equipment is today computer and numerically controlled. You can no longer see how a machine operates. You've got to understand the math. You've got to be able to program it. You've got to be able to feed in instructions. So it requires a lot of knowledge of high school, definitely high school science and beyond, and math, and increasingly computers and programming and technology.
Navjeet and Ted, thank you so much for the information about what manufacturing careers look like today. It seems like it's a satisfying and challenging job that you get to see what you've produced at the end of the day. Stay with us as we learn more about manufacturing in central Massachusetts.